You are rich, yet you live like you are poor. You breathe, yet you forget the miracle of breath. You walk, yet you ignore the gift of legs that carry you. You wake each morning with more than kings of the past could dream of, but you spend your days restless, unsatisfied, blind. This blindness is not new. The Stoics saw it long ago. They warned that the man who is ungrateful for what he has will never feel rich, no matter how much he gains. Desire blinds. It whispers that happiness is in the next thing, the next possession, the next achievement. You think joy will come when you get the job, when you buy the house, when you are recognized. But when it comes, the hunger remains. You reach one summit, and another rises. You drink deeply, but the thirst grows stronger. Desire promises joy, but delivers emptiness. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little who is poor, but the man who craves more." Look at your life. How many hours have you wasted chasing what you thought would finally satisfy you? How many times have you said, "If only I had this, then I would be happy"? And when you got it, how long did it last? A day, a week, before the hunger shifted again. You are not chasing happiness. You are chasing smoke. There is a story of Adrian, a successful lawyer. He had wealth, recognition, influence. Yet each night, he scrolled through social media, comparing himself to others. A bigger house, a better vacation, more fame. He confessed one night to a friend, "I have everything I once dreamed of, yet I feel empty." His blindness was not a lack of success, but a lack of gratitude. He saw what others had, but not what was already his. The Stoics call this sickness the blindness of desire. It makes men restless, always looking outward, never inward. It blinds them to the bread on the table, the friend who calls, the sunset outside their window. They chase shadows while treasures sit unnoticed at their feet. Ask yourself now, how many gifts have you ignored today? Did you thank your body for carrying you? Did you honor the air in your lungs? Did you notice the people who care for you? Or did you scroll, compare, crave, and miss it all? If you woke up tomorrow with only what you gave thanks for today, what would remain? This blindness has a cure: gratitude. To see clearly what you already have. To honor the ordinary as extraordinary. The Stoics remind us, happiness is not found in having more. It is found in seeing more clearly. So pause now. Look at your hands. Look at your breath. Look at your life. You already hold enough. Gratitude is the light that breaks the blindness of desire. Without it, nothing is ever enough. With it, everything is already enough. Gratitude is not weakness. Gratitude is power. A man who rejoices in what he has is untouchable. No loss can shatter him, no insult can diminish him, no comparison can steal his peace. The Stoics knew this truth. Seneca wrote, "He is wise who does not grieve for what he lacks, but rejoices in what he has." Gratitude transforms ordinary days into blessings, and the simplest meal into a feast. Think of Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, surrounded by wealth, by power, by chaos. Yet in his journal, he reminded himself to be thankful each morning for waking, for breathing, for being alive. He wrote not of conquests, but of gratitude. It gave him calm in the storms of empire. Gratitude was his anchor. Now think of a man today, consumed by envy. He scrolls through his phone, restless, discontent. Every image tells him he is not enough. Every comparison feeds his despair. He has food, shelter, health, but he cannot see them. He is blinded by what he does not have. He is weak, not because of what he lacks, but because of what he fails to notice. Gratitude is strength because it breaks envy. It silences comparison. It transforms loss into lesson and survival into celebration. A grateful man can be stripped of wealth and still rejoice in breath. A grateful woman can lose position and still find joy in sunlight. Gratitude makes you resilient, unbreakable, free. There is a story of Maya, who survived an illness that nearly killed her. She said afterward, "Every morning I open my eyes is a miracle. The taste of water is a gift. The sound of laughter is gold." She lost much, but gratitude gave her more. She lived stronger than before, because nothing ordinary was ordinary anymore. Ask yourself, what would your life feel like if you saw every breath as a miracle? How heavy would your troubles seem if you remembered that you have food when many starve, freedom when many are chained, health when many suffer? Gratitude does not deny pain. It reframes it. It shows that even in loss, something remains, and that something is worth rejoicing in. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a discipline. It must be practiced, trained, repeated. Begin each morning with 3 things you are thankful for. End each night by naming what made the day a gift. Write them down. Speak them aloud. Gratitude is a muscle. Use it and it grows. Neglect it and it withers. The Stoics knew that gratitude is the true measure of wealth. Not gold, not status, not possessions, but the ability to rejoice in what is here. A grateful heart cannot be conquered. A grateful soul cannot be broken. So pause now. Look at your life. You have more than you think. You are richer than you know. Gratitude is not weakness. Gratitude is power. And the one who masters it walks free no matter what fortune brings. Gratitude is not new wisdom. It is ancient. The Stoics lived it long before us. Marcus Aurelius, ruler of the most powerful empire of his time, could have drowned in luxury, in ambition, in endless desire. But in the quiet of the early morning, before the court and the soldiers and the demands of the empire, he wrote to himself reminders to be thankful. Thankful for waking, thankful for breathing, thankful for the chance to live one more day in harmony with nature. He wrote, "When you rise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." These were not words for others. They were his own instructions, his own anchor, his own way of remembering that even an emperor is nothing without gratitude. Think about this. The most powerful man in the world did not measure his wealth by palaces or armies, but by the gift of waking each day. If an emperor could find joy in the ordinary, what excuse do you and I have? There is also the story of Epictetus, born a slave, beaten, with little control over his own body. Yet he taught his students to be grateful for what could never be taken, the freedom of the mind. He said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for what he has not, but rejoices in what he has, even in chains." Epictetus lived freer than many kings because gratitude guarded his soul from despair. Ask yourself, who is truly rich? The emperor who craves more, restless despite his empire, or the slave who rejoices in breath, content despite his chains? History shows us the answer. Gratitude, not possessions, is the true measure of wealth. Imagine Marcus Aurelius at dawn, pen in hand, writing his meditations, reminding himself to be thankful before he faced the storms of politics and war. Imagine Epictetus, in poverty, teaching young men that joy is not in what they lack, but in what they see. Their examples are eternal. Their voices still speak. They remind us that gratitude is not dependent on fortune. It is a choice, a discipline, a power within reach of anyone. So pause now and ask yourself, if Marcus Aurelius could rejoice in waking, can you not rejoice in a single breath? If Epictetus could find gratitude in chains, can you not find it in freedom? Gratitude is not about circumstance. It is about sight. Yet gratitude today feels harder than ever. We live surrounded by abundance, yet poisoned by comparison. Our ancestors prayed for bread. We throw away food. They longed for safety. We live with more security than kings of the past. And yet, depression, anxiety, restlessness consume us. Why? Because we are blinded by modern discontent. Social media fuels the sickness. You scroll and see lives edited for perfection, vacations filtered for beauty, faces polished for admiration. You compare, and you feel less. Less successful, less attractive, less alive. Every image whispers, you are not enough. Gratitude fades. Desire grows. Advertising feeds it further. Every billboard, every commercial, every algorithm is designed to make you restless. Your phone listens, your screen glows, and voices tell you that you need more. A better car, a newer phone, a different body. Gratitude cannot survive in a heart poisoned with constant craving. There is a story of Daniel, a young man who worked hard and bought everything he thought would bring happiness. Clothes, gadgets, nights out. Each purchase gave a brief high. But days later, the hunger returned. One night he sat in his apartment surrounded by things, yet he whispered, "I have nothing." He realized then that his life was not lacking possessions. It was lacking gratitude. Ask yourself, how many times have you done the same? How many times have you thought, if only I had that, then I would feel alive? How many times have you achieved, bought, gained, only to feel empty days later? You are not broken, you are human, but you are trapped in a culture of more. The Stoics offer the antidote: gratitude. To see enough where the world screams for more. To rejoice in what you hold, instead of craving what you do not. Imagine waking tomorrow and seeing your phone not as outdated, but as a tool. Seeing your meal not as plain, but as nourishment. Seeing your home not as small, but as shelter. That shift is power. That shift is freedom. Gratitude is rebellion in a culture of more. It is strength to say, I have enough, when the world says, you are not enough. It is courage to silence comparison, to step away from the endless scroll, to look at your life and say, here is treasure. So pause now. Ask yourself, are you living or are you scrolling? Are you grateful or are you comparing? Are you awake or are you blind? Gratitude is the cure for modern discontent, and it is waiting. Right now, in the ordinary moments you ignore. The Stoics practiced something that at first sounds dark, but in truth it was the deepest form of gratitude. They called it negative visualization. To imagine losing what you cherish. Not to despair, but to awaken. To picture life without health, without freedom, without the people you love, so that when you opened your eyes, you would see them not as ordinary, but as miracles. Seneca often advised his students to rehearse misfortune in the mind. He told them, remind yourself of the fragility of life, so that you may never take it for granted. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you may leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, what you say, what you think. By imagining the end, they learn to rejoice in the present. There is a story of Elena, a woman who nearly lost her daughter in a car accident. For a moment she thought her child was gone, and her heart shattered. But when the girl opened her eyes, alive and safe, Elena wept with a gratitude deeper than she had ever known. She said later, every hug feels like gold now. The accident did not teach her something new. It revealed what she had forgotten. The gift had always been there. You do not need tragedy to awaken this vision. You can practice it now. Close your eyes. Imagine losing the things you hold dear. Imagine your health gone. Imagine your freedom taken. Imagine the chair beside you empty. Feel the weight of that loss. Now open your eyes. Breathe. See what is still here. That breath is not ordinary. That person is not ordinary. This moment is not ordinary. Gratitude sharpens when you remember how fragile it all is. Ask yourself, how many times have you said goodbye to someone, assuming you would see them again, without realizing it might be the last time? How many mornings have you opened your eyes without thanking life for another chance? If you knew today was your final day, how differently would you see the sunrise, the faces you love, the food on your table? That clarity is the gift of negative visualization. The Stoics did not practice this to live in fear. They practiced it to live awake. They knew that fortune is fragile, that life is short, that loss is certain. But instead of despair, they chose gratitude. By imagining absence, they honored presence. By facing loss, They treasured what remained. So pause now. Look at your life as if you might lose it. See the faces around you as if for the last time. Feel the air in your lungs as if it were your final breath. Let gratitude rise, not from fear, but from awareness. This is the discipline of the Stoics. To live as if each moment were both gift and goodbye. Nothing awakens gratitude like loss. When something is taken, suddenly you see its value. A man who recovers from illness treasures every breath. A woman who survives an accident cherishes every sunrise. Often it takes standing on the edge of losing to realize what you had all along. There is the story of Michael, who nearly died from a heart attack at 50. For years he lived restless, chasing money, ignoring his health, rushing through life. On the hospital bed, tubes in his arms, he whispered, "I thought I had more time." When he recovered, he changed. He said, "Now every walk feels like a blessing. Every laugh is a miracle." Gratitude did not erase his suffering. It transformed it. There is also the story of Hannah, who lost her mother unexpectedly. For weeks she wept, drowning in grief. But as the pain softened, she said something profound. "I never realized how much love surrounded me until it was gone. Now I treasure every call, every smile, every embrace, because I know how fragile it is." Her loss became her awakening. Ask yourself, why do we wait until things are gone to value them? Why must death remind us of life? Why must illness remind us of health? Why must separation remind us of love? The Stoics would say, we forget. We sleepwalk through the ordinary. Gratitude is the act of waking up. Seneca once wrote, "Let us cherish those we love while we have them, for we know not how long they will remain." He knew that time is short and that gratitude is the only antidote to regret. The wise do not wait for loss. They practice gratitude before it comes. Think now of your own life. Who do you take for granted? What simple gifts do you ignore? If they were gone tomorrow, what would you wish you had appreciated today? Do not wait for loss to awaken you. Choose to awaken now. Gratitude is not naive. It does not pretend that loss will not come. It knows loss is certain, but it chooses to let that certainty deepen joy, not destroy it. The man who knows he will die one day cherishes every sunrise. The woman who knows love is fragile treasures every embrace. Loss makes gratitude sharper, deeper, stronger. So pause. Look at the faces you love. Feel the breath in your chest. Hear the sounds of life around you. These are gifts. They will not last forever, but they are here now. And that is enough reason to give thanks. Gratitude is not a theory. It is a discipline. It is a daily practice, a habit of the soul. The Stoics knew that wisdom without action is wasted. So they trained gratitude the way others train the body, through small, deliberate exercises repeated each day. Seneca advised his students to end each evening with reflection. He asked them to look back over their day and notice what was good, what was given, what was survived. Marcus Aurelius began many mornings with reminders of the gift of life itself. They did not leave gratitude to chance. They built it into their hours. You can do the same. Each morning, before the rush of the day begins, pause. Name 3 things you are thankful for. Speak them out loud. Write them down. They do not have to be grand. The warmth of your bed, the taste of clean water, the sound of a bird outside your window. By naming them, you train your eyes to see. There is a story of Sarah, a young teacher drowning in stress. She felt overworked, underpaid, restless. One of her mentors challenged her. Each day, write down 3 blessings before you sleep. At first, she resisted. She thought it silly. But soon, she noticed small joys. A smile from a student, a kind word from a friend, the quiet of evening. Within months, her perspective shifted. She said later, "Nothing outside changed, but I changed. Gratitude changed me. Gratitude can also be shared. Speak it. Tell the people in your life what they mean to you. Do not wait for funerals to say thank you. Tell them now. Gratitude unspoken is like a gift left unopened. Ask yourself, when was the last time you thanked your parents, your friends, your children, your partner? When was the last time you looked at them and said, I see you, I value you, I am grateful? Imagine how different your relationships would be if gratitude was your language. Gratitude is also trained through mindfulness. Slow down, taste your food, feel the air in your lungs. Notice the colors of the sky. Gratitude grows when you pay attention. Busyness kills it. Silence awakens it. Do not wait for tragedy to open your eyes. Do not wait for loss to teach you value. Practice gratitude daily, and you will already be awake. Gratitude is not something you feel once in a while. It is something you practice until it becomes who you are. So begin now. Write 3 blessings. Speak your thanks. Notice the ordinary. Train your soul. Gratitude is a muscle. Use it, and it will grow strong enough to carry you through any storm. What happens when gratitude takes root? What is the reward of this discipline? The Stoics answered with one word: enough. Gratitude transforms little into enough, and enough into joy. Think of a man who eats plain bread with thankfulness. To him, it is a feast. Think of another who eats a banquet without gratitude. To him, it is never enough. The difference is not in the meal. It is in the heart. There is a story of Daniel, a man who left his corporate job after years of chasing wealth. He chose a simpler life, teaching music to children. He said, I may earn less, but I live more. Every morning feels like a gift. Every note I teach feels like treasure. He discovered what the Stoics knew. Gratitude frees you from the slavery of more. Without gratitude, life is endless hunger. With gratitude, life is endless gift. Seneca wrote, true wealth is not measured by what you own, but by what you can enjoy. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that even a sunrise is treasure. The wise do not need much because they see much. Ask yourself, what if you stopped craving what you lack and started rejoicing in what you have? How heavy would your burdens feel if you remembered that even now you are breathing, you are alive, you are already rich in ways that matter most? Gratitude gives freedom from envy. You no longer care who has more, because you know you have enough. Gratitude gives freedom from fear. You no longer tremble at loss, because you see value even in little. Gratitude gives freedom from restlessness. You no longer chase endlessly, because joy is already here. There is also peace. Gratitude silences the noise of craving. It calms the storm of wanting. It makes the ordinary extraordinary. A meal becomes a blessing. A conversation becomes wealth. A sunrise becomes eternity. Gratitude does not change the world around you. It changes the eyes through which you see it. The Stoics remind us, he who is not grateful for little will not be grateful for much. Gratitude is the secret of enough, and enough is the doorway to joy. So pause. Look at your life. Say the words, I have enough. Let them sink into your soul. Feel the freedom of no longer needing more. That is wealth. That is power. That is peace. Gratitude is the secret the world forgets. We think joy is hidden in wealth, in success, in distant goals. But joy is here, in the breath you take, in the faces you love, in the ordinary moments that pass unseen. The Stoics remind us, happiness is not found in chasing what you lack, but in honoring what you have. Without gratitude, nothing is ever enough. With gratitude, everything is already enough. So wake tomorrow and see with new eyes. See your home not as small, but as shelter. See your food not as plain, but as blessing. See your loved ones not as ordinary, but as miracles. Practice gratitude, and you will discover that you have been rich all along. Gratitude is not weakness. It is strength. It is freedom. It is joy. And it is the gift that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. This is the Stoic path. This is the gift of gratitude. This is the art of finding joy in the ordinary.